Good evening, everybody. Mike Naso here from IPR with the latest on the tropics. I apologize for being incommunicado the last week. I was in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the hotel I had, the internet cable wouldn't connect to the laptop, and I was unable to do any videos from that location as Isaac, of course, made landfall in Louisiana. And during that time, we've had two new systems form. We had Hurricane Kirk, which became a powerful, tiny little hurricane way out there in the Atlantic, still out there but not a hurricane. And this foreboding-looking system is not as foreboding as it looks, and that is Tropical Storm Leslie. And Leslie is looking like it could still be a potent hurricane down the road, but impacts to land do not seem that likely except perhaps Bermuda. And we'll be talking about that. Leslie on the satellite there clearly struggling to burst over the center, which had become exposed earlier today. Here's the latest on Leslie as of 11 p.m. Eastern. It was at 20.2 north, 58.4 west. Winds were down to 65 miles per hour, had been up close to a hurricane. Gusting up to 75, is moving northwest at 18, 998 millibars, and you can see the track here through time is expected to be a gradual bend to the north and then a significant slowdown as steering currents become very weak, and Leslie may become trapped and get missed by a couple of troughs. And if that's the case, then Leslie may stick around as a strengthening hurricane here just to the southeast of Bermuda by the time next weekend rolls around. So we may be dealing with Leslie for a while, and keep in mind it could be on the right edge of this cone and it could be on the left edge of this cone, but more likely somewhere in the middle, a very slow motion. So Leslie does have the potential to become a strong hurricane down the road, but it won't do it anytime soon. You can see the wind field is a rather large tropical cyclone, but again, the islands here, no land areas being threatened right now, maybe some high swells coming from the system. There's the model guidance, which continue to show a gradual movement off to the north and northeast eventually, but very slow and very tightly clustered the next few days somewhere around here. If the current motion had continued for a few days, it'd go right into Charleston, South Carolina, but Leslie is not heading in that direction. Here's the RGB image as the sun went down. You can see Leslie's center was exposed, but as the sun went down past it, convection is trying to refire, but there is wind shear, and a lot of it. You can see on the shear values here, we're dealing with wind shear increasing 20-30 knots, and that's not favorable, but once it breaks through that barrier in a few days, it should have a safe harbor to intensify. In contrast, Kirk up here was in a favorable environment, is now heading very quickly northeast, won't be tropical after too long. Again, if Leslie was underneath this anticyclone, it'd be in a very favorable environment. Instead, it is too far to the east, therefore that shear is coming right over the top of it, and that is unfavorable for development. There's the latest AVN image, and you can see cold cloud tops. Last night it was very impressive, but the center is displaced beyond where the cold cloud tops are, thus intensification is not occurring. Here's Kirk as of 11 p.m. is at 41.2, 41.8, moving northeast at 28 very quickly, 60 miles an hour. It's not going to be a factor. It's going to continue out over the next 24 hours, and we will be done with Kirk for good. But it was a potent little hurricane for a while. You can see there, no longer a potent system, but still some curvature to it as it elongates and heads on out into the Atlantic Ocean. Now the model guidance, this is the GFS model. Watch what it does with Leslie there. Look at how long Leslie just sits and sits and sits and is trapped. You're literally talking about a situation to where for 7 to 10 days Leslie's just pounding Bermuda with high surf and high swells before finally getting booted on out. But it's going to be a while, and by that resolution that could be a strong hurricane right about there, barreling very, very close to the island of Bermuda right here. You can see how close Leslie gets and just sits and spins and spins. So we'd be dealing with this system for a while, and more waves behind that coming off Africa that we would have to keep an eye on. So the tropics are busy, and we are mopping up from Isaac down south. I'm Mike Naso from IPR. I'll see you next time.